Hey there, I'm Heidi Lynn, and I'm so glad that you have joined me because if you are feeling spiritually disconnected and numb and your life just isn't feeling super in alignment, then I'm glad that you're here because I have a message to share about maybe some things to try or why this is going on. And so when I think about being like spiritually disconnected, it can, and I've felt that way before. I have felt like nothing in my life was going right. Like I felt like I was doing everything I was supposed to be doing, but I just wasn't feeling connected to like my purpose, spirit. And what I would recommend is if you are in this situation to take a review or an analysis. It was hard to get out. An analysis of like your life, essentially, identifying what makes you happy, what lights you up. One time I did this really powerful exercise and I asked myself, when I'm at my happiest, what's going right in my life, or what is going on in my life? And that was such a powerful question. I just asked myself that, like, I didn't even know. It was back like last fall, November-ish or December. Actually, it was December. Anyway, so I asked myself that question and I allowed myself to just journal on it. And I was just thinking, like, this is so powerful of a question to be asking myself, because after I asked myself that question and spent time thinking about all of the things that make me happy, that make me feel fulfilled, what's going on in my life at that time, how my relationships, etc. And when I made a list of those things, I got to really look at my life and then do an analysis and consider, are those things happening in my life right now? What aren't? What could I add, to make my life feel more connected, fulfilled, happy, more spiritually connected to others? And that was such a powerful tool. And it was so funny too, because my friend, not long after that, she was just telling me that she wasn't very happy. And I told her about that exercise. She was just loved the idea. She did it. She said that was super powerful, and it really is. So I encourage you to do that. Write yourself a list of things that are in your life and present, or what you're doing or whatever that makes you your happiest. What's going on in your life? All aspects of it, because then you can really get an idea of maybe what may be missing and how to realign to that. Also too, not just, what's lighting you up, what's making you happy, but also, is your life in alignment with your core values? So often our lives aren't in alignment with our core values, which causes a lot of unhappiness and unfulfillment. So that's something else I really want you to consider is, are you living your life in alignment with your core values? And if you haven't figured out what your values are, ours shift throughout our lifetime. So if you haven't done this in a while or ever at all, I'm going to encourage you to do that. At least figure out your 10 core values. And from that list of core values, then narrow it down to your top 5. And then do what you can to make your life include those values in them. And so, for instance, for me, I'll just use an example. Family, let's see, my top 5 values is family, connection, honesty, spirituality, and nature. Those are my top 5 values. And when my life wasn't in alignment, at one point I was thinking, what is going on with my life? I feel so disconnected and disjointed and kind of just emotionally numb and just kind of going through the motions. Can you relate to that at all? Let me know if you can relate going through the motions. Seriously, like, then I realized that what I was doing was not getting enough family time in. And it really hit home when I was thinking about, well, family is a really important value of mine. How much time am I actually spending connecting with my family and my kids? Because I was so focused on my career, going to work, doing work, trying to start a business on the side, you know, trying to run a family, trying to be everything to everybody, and still like trying to breathe and survive, right? And then I got to a point where I was so focused on spending all of my time on work, and when I get out of work, I would focus on all of my time trying to build my business. And this was back in like 2021, and it was exhausting. It was so exhausting. And then once I realized that I was not happy, and I discovered I wasn't spending enough time with my family, with quality time. And so once I started instituting, okay, you know, I put time limits on well, obviously my work had a primary time limit, but with the time I spent working on my business in the evenings, you know, I had to time block certain things and then spend time blocking from my family. And that really helped me. I have incense going, so I'm blowing like out of my face. So when I did that, and I was able to start shifting my life to be more in alignment with allowing me more quality time with my family, I noticed my happiness level went up. My feeling of connection went up, was really nice. Just my satisfaction in life just went up, because I realized just, you know, you don't want to get to the point where your kids are grown, and then you're looking back and thinking, oh my God, what did I do with all that time? I spent all that time focusing on starting a business. How much time did I spend connecting with my kids? That's such an important question. And for the longest time, I was so focused on just my career, and, you know, going through the ranks and climbing the ladder in the federal government. And I was so heavily focused on my career and striving for success. And I had set a goal to make $100,000 or more by the age I was 40. And I did it at age 32 without a college degree. So I was hustling. I was kind of shifting, going with life, trying to achieve that goal. And admittedly and unfortunately, I didn't spend enough time really investing with my kids, because I was so focused on work. And also, I think, you know, there was some trauma stuff that I had to work through, which I realized later on that it was some trauma there and feeling disconnected, because I had not felt connected to my family growing up, because I was basically like a black sheep of my family. I ran away from home when I was 17. My family were alcoholics. I didn't connect with my sister really. She was 7 years younger. It was this whole thing. So I ran away from home when I was 17, and I feel like, you know, I basically have been on my own since then, and I've been taking care of myself. And I was in the Army for, 3 years, so I was medically discharged, and then I got into my federal job, and I've just been climbing the corporate ladder just for feeling a level of success. And this might be relevant to you too, because what I found once I hit my career goal, my money goal by age 32, and it was originally, I wanted to do it by 40, and I did it so much faster. I realized it's not about the money. It's not about the success, because once I thought I would hit a certain level, and then the success would feel really good and make me feel good inside. And it did. Don't let me make you think that it didn't. It did, from a superficial standpoint. And I got to a point where, sure, I was like, okay, great, I got my career, but my money goal, my career goal early, and then I was just like, man, I'm working for a very toxic, and I'm working in a toxic environment. I outcompeted 2 people and was supervising them. They hated me, and it was very toxic. It made it very hard to do that job. And I just was like, I was too prideful to quit that position, even though it was less than a year in, and I knew it was just soul sucking, and I was just not happy. But I just really was so proud of the accomplishment. Can you relate to this? So then I realized that the money got the best of me. And then I got to the point where I was like, well, what's really happy or what's really important is what makes me happy inside. And thankfully I took a step down and I went and I worked with a Forest Service in Nevada in 2019. Anyway, so taking a step down and realigning and working for an organization that I felt connected to, that really was speaking to my values, like family. They had like a familial type of environment. It was very engaging. It was very supportive. It was challenging, but they allowed me to have autonomy. Those are all my values, just not necessarily like my top values, but all of those are my values. So when you're thinking about things that you want in your life, think about all the words that you're describing and figure out how to make that happen. And it might not come immediately. It might take a little while to figure that out, but I'm going to tell you that setting intention is super important and extremely powerful because, okay, I'm just going to share a win. Maybe it'll inspire some hope. My client, she 7 weeks ago, we started working together, and she was at this point in her career. She was making $40,000 a year. She had basically, we went through life coach training together, and she ended up, after that training, she started to try to make a business work, and it didn't work, and she went back and she needed to get back into like the real world job, like having an employer. And she ended up in a job, and it was soul sucking. And when she came to me, she was just like so sad and really having a hard time with her health. Her career was sucking and she hated it. It was toxic. She wasn't making what she wanted to be making, and her health wasn't very good either. Her relationship was barely making it. And since we've been working together, she has been doing some incredible work. We've been doing some energy healing work, and I infuse it in coaching, whatever. So her win is she, last Wednesday, so just a couple of days ago in this post, she told me that she just got offered a job making like $40,000 more than what she was making when we started. And when she started, she was telling me that she wanted to feel happy. She wanted to have a sense of inner peace. She didn't want to wake up angry anymore. She wanted to have more clarity about her relationship. Does she stay or go? Either way, she just wants to have some clarity with that. She's working through that right now. And also to have this job where she was able to spend more time with her animals at home, having a better work-life balance, having a company that is more life-giving than life-taking, right? And making more money. And so she set that intention with me 7 weeks ago, and here we are. And she just got offered it just a couple days ago. And I was just stunned. And she's just like, Heidi, like, I've been through programs before, coming home to yourself work before, like, your work is different. I've been in therapy for years. Your work is different. Your work is powerful. You are healing me. And I had to tell her, like, yes, part of it, like, it's more she's healing herself. She's allowing me to be her guide. Yes, I send her daily energy healing, and supportive energy tools and hypnosis and, subconscious reprogramming and all that stuff to help elevate her and help her release the mental prison that she's kind of encapsulated herself in based on her circumstances and where she's kind of gone in her life in the last few years. But now she's at a point where she now has power of choice. She has $40,000 more a year in her pocket. And before, she was telling me, just like a week ago, she was telling me, like, Heidi, I don't know what I want to do with my relationship. I've moved to the guest bedroom. We need some space. I just think that this might be a great exercise to see if he misses me, to see, if there will be a spark or something. And also, if I decided that if I didn't want to be in the relationship, I wouldn't be able to leave even if I wanted to. And that was so heart-wrenching for me because it's like, man, she didn't want to stay. She couldn't even leave. So she'd be like in a slave in her own home. And that's so sad to me. And that's why I love like just the work that I'm doing. But I kind of went on a tangent, but I just wanted to inspire some hope. So what I was saying was, you need to set an intention and get clear on that intention and just take the steps to get there. So she set that intention. We're working together. We're working to regulate her nervous system so that way she can like elevate and her nervous system won't, go haywire and shut down and keep her stuck out of, its survival mechanisms, out of safety. So as we elevate her frequency through this energy healing and doing these grounding exercises, she's able to kind of recalibrate more. She's going up and she's able to hold more of an energetic capacity. She's been working on her money and mindset stuff too, and that was separate from us, but still, it all plays into this. And so what happens, she just got really clear. So I need you to get really clear on what it is that you want in your life, what would make you happy, what brings you fulfillment. When are you at your happiest? Seriously, figure out your values, your top 5 values, live your life in alignment with those values, and do everything you can to cut out everything that isn't in alignment with it. Sometimes that means you have to cut out people. I've had to cut out people in my life. I no longer speak to my mother. I'm distanced from my dad. He's been supportive, but it's also kind of toxic. So it's kind of a little tricky with that one. Then my partner's parents, his mom, just toxic, just unfortunately toxic. No matter how much we've said, he wanted to go to therapy with her, and she just refused. She just doesn't want to work on herself. And as heartbreaking as it was, we had to cut that out because we're not going to keep people in our lives for the sake of keeping people in our lives. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, you have to cut the people out that are not in alignment with where you want to be, that are not supportive. Yes. Does it hurt? Yes. Is it uncomfortable? Yes. Okay. But I'm going to tell you right now, if you keep surrounding yourself with people who bring you down and don't elevate you, only add more stress to your life, more chaos, more whatever that's not good, they don't deserve to be in your life. Like, it was really hard to tell my mom, say, like, listen, like, this is toxic. I'm done. Okay. Like, I've given her so many chances to try to, get help and heal and whatever, but she wants to wallow in her own pain. And then she wants to, not be supportive of me. And those are not the people that I'm allowing into my life. I'm only allowing supportive people that are, not necessarily like-minded, but open-minded, open to having conversations about things that they don't understand, working on themselves to evolve and grow and be the best version of themselves. And so you have people in your life. If you're coming to me, you're in my energy. Okay. So if you have people in your life that don't deserve your time, energy, or attention, it's time to cut it out. It's time to cut it out. Seriously. Like, just, you can love them from afar. Is it hard and uncomfortable? Yes. Is it healthy and best for you? Hell yes. And so I recommend you do that. And so when you keep people in your life that are like naysayers, that are like Debbie Downers, that just, woe is me, you are not going to enjoy being around them. It's going to bring you down. And if you are surrounded by those people in your living situation, you have to really get in alignment with where you want to go. Like, what are you tolerating? I just felt really called to grab this for some reason. But like, what are you tolerating in your life? Figure that out. Like, are you tolerating shit you don't need to be tolerating? Then it's time to let it go. And maybe that's easier said than done. It's simple. Let's say this. It's simple because it's, you know what to do. You're like, oh, my partner is toxic. My mother is toxic. My mother-in-law is toxic. My dad, my brother, my sister, blah, blah, whatever it may be. It can be difficult to cut those people out for fear of judgment, What will the family say? Sure. Does what they say about you actually even matter? Is it true? If they try to say, oh, she thinks she's better than me. Oh, she's so goody two shoes or whatever the fuck. Like, does that even fucking matter? Who the fuck even cares? Like, who the fuck cares? Okay? Seriously. You have to get to that point. You have to allow yourself to love yourself enough and more than the opinions of other people. You can't live a happy life and be controlled by the opinions and thoughts of other people, by the judgment. You can't. You will never live an authentic life if you are constantly allowing yourself to be controlled by the judgment of others. That's prison, my friend. That's just one form of prison, but that is like a prison. So you need to free yourself. So maybe you're feeling spiritually disconnected because you're allowing too many other people in your life to dictate your life and your emotions and your happiness. So, yeah. And if you're still with me, thank you for hanging in there. I hope you had I'm sure that something resonated. If something did resonate, please put a pink heart below. I'd really appreciate that, just so I know that, like, you're feeling me. I'm not out here just speaking to the ether. Yeah, it's just, I am back on the channel. I have been off since like 2022 when I got my job. My life shifted and I was trying to start a career a coaching business alongside my job. And then my life shifted. Then I got a new job. I got a promotion. I wasn't in alignment. I got a job I wasn't even trying to get. And I got more money. It ended up fulfilling another career goal of mine. So it's just like, once you just just get in alignment and let go and stop worrying, life works out. So stop worrying. Oh, and two, I'm being called to tell you this too. Like, are you grounding yourself? Are you grounding yourself? Are you taking time for yourself? If you're feeling spiritually disconnected, are you taking enough time for yourself? Are you setting time aside for you and not feeling bad about it? You got to be able to do that. Ground your nervous system. Do some energetic, work, like emotional freedom technique. Just do some yoga, just relax, just take care of yourself. Just do what you feel like you need to do that brings you a sense of peace. Got it on my hair. A sense of peace and harmony, fulfillment. You just do that. You just need to calm your nervous system. I've been doing a ton of EFT lately. And I can't tell you how long I've been resisting it. I've done EFT, emotional freedom tapping, or technique, aka tapping, for the last, off and on since like 2021 when I first learned about it. But I was like, this is so weird. I just couldn't get on board because I was still letting the opinions of other people and even the opinion of myself doing it dictate my own ability, like my own willingness to do it, even though I'd heard people rave about it. Every time I would do it, I feel silly and I'll be like, this is dumb. What if someone walks in on me doing this? And I'll tell you what, over the last couple of months, I quit my federal job after like 20 years. I hit the pinnacle of my career at that point and felt more called to live my life in alignment with my purpose and pursuing my purpose. And so with that, I quit my job to start my coaching business, Pleasure Strategist. And my nervous system was going through a lot. And I felt energetically like the universe is like upgrading me to be like, oh, okay, you closed one door, here's another one, and here we're helping you prepare. So my nervous system has gone through a lot of fucking shit since March of 2025. March 1, 2025 was my first day of being done after like basically my 20-year federal career, consistent career. Anyway, it's crazy. But so as I was like shifting and shedding out of that old space, it was like I was being prepared for like this new space. And my nervous system, was just kind of going chaotic. And so one of the things that kept coming up intuitively is like, Heidi, you need to do some tapping. You need to take care of your energy center, or your energy center, you need to take care of your nervous system with all the stuff that you're going through. And I'll tell you what, like, it's heaven. And I've had my partner and my kids walk in on me more times than I can count, and I'll be bawling sometimes. And it doesn't matter. You know what? It matters is how you take care of you. And I don't know if you've ever reached a point where you are like ready to, like, you're on the verge of tears, but nothing will come out. And you're like, I know I need to cry, but I can't cry, but I don't know what's going on. Like, start tapping, start really inquiring, like, what could be on your mind that's causing you the problem. I created this chat GPT. I created a GPT, I guess you call it, for tapping through for breakthroughs. And I would love to be able to share it, but it won't let me share it because it's considered medical advice or something. So anyway, so I just work through that. And like, if you want the prompt, like, let me know. I'd be happy to send you the prompt of what I did to create the GPT specifically for tapping. And yeah, so it helps me tap because I don't know tapping. And many times as I wanted to learn to tap, I would get distracted and I just wouldn't do it. And it would just be like another thing on my to-do list, on my course list that I needed to get to. But this is really helpful. So then it just takes you through the prompts, and it's like, okay, then you share like what you're feeling, your scale of 0 to 10. And it can help you really work through your mental blocks based on your own specific thought process, beliefs, situation. It's fucking amazing. So I've been doing that, and it has been really helpful. Yesterday I was bawling my eyes out for something, and it was just so helpful. It was so helpful. So yeah, just regulate your nervous system. That's another really important thing to do. So if you're feeling really disconnected, regulate your nervous system. Get out in nature, go play, do movement. Again, as I said earlier, get connected to your values, figure out if you're living your life in alignment with your values, and what is going on in your life when you're at your happiest. So those are the things that I suggest you do. And again, if this resonated, put a pink heart in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. I am checking comments, and I'm taking a new approach on this channel. It was Divine Boss Babe, and now it's Pleasure Strategist, because I am your pleasure strategist to help you live an amazing life that lights you the fuck up. And so yeah, here I am, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Take care.